2. From Miramar, we're heading to Sims and Pansy.
Meow, Sims and Pansy. Meow. I don't know. It sounded like we were the map. I got excited. I was like, we're heading to Sims and Pansy. What would our map be, Rich? Chinaris? Bible? Cheeky bit of Bible, mate. He loves it. Can't get him out.
Unfortunately, I just live in Pachinki these days, though. That's the thing as well. Like, if it were anywhere else, it's just Pachinki. And I know that you don't like it as well, but Pachinki is home. Pachinki is love. Pachinki is life.
Ugh. Disgusting. All right, west to southeast. I hate it. Again, I think the main takeaway from me is I want to see if Na'Vi can like replicate what we just saw, because that was definitely a swing up in performance. I don't want to read into it too much. Obviously, potentially that circle was great for them, considering it was a Western circle. But seeing them on land, seeing them pumped up, seeing them fragging out, that's a big indicator for good things to come. If they can repeat it here, then I'll pay big attention towards it. Omicron wasn't as loud as I'd like. I'd like to have seen a little more from them. That felt like a circle where they could have done a lot more with, but just didn't seem to come through. Ooh, very different circle this time.
Yeah, opposite side of the map, and we do have a lot of water in play. This is where it becomes, again, the difficult scenario is that it's a limitation. There's a time limitation of you need to be getting yourself into a good position here. With Los Leonas just been on the top, I say top side, it's not. You do have the top side of it, but it's still within, it's still within reach of being able to formulate some kind of a city ending or a town ending within there. Imlul is peppering one of the members of ETG. If he gets the shot, he does connect one. Want to see some more? We've seen these happen. They are a rarity. But you know what? He stands the test of time, at least for now. Decent game from ETG in the previous round. I think James touched on it at the start of it as soon as we went over to the desk with 13th and I think it was 10th at the time, getting the top two spots respectively. It puts good points on the board for them. It gives them a better foothold within the map. Base Clan, unfortunately, still staying their feet. It's not great. It's still 13th. I mean, after this game, we're halfway through pretty much. Excuse me, after today, we're halfway through, and yeah, I'd be very surprised and quite shocked, to be honest with you, if they were anywhere below 10th position. Things just haven't gone right for them when they're looking at certain points. They're usually the more aggressive team that you want to be afraid of. And at the moment, I mean, the previous one, I want to kind of touch on that. I say smoke wall, it was a smoke bridge. I mean, Na'Vi just literally building a path towards them, all the smoke's going down and formulating a line and then cycling the nades to get into a position where they could just bombard them and push them out. Like, no team in this lobby anymore feels like ready to fight. They're even, Froz was mentioning at the start with Northern Lights, where even them as such, they are this team that will sit in obscure positions, opposite end, looking for hard shifts, having lots of ground and lots of room, but if there is a team within that space that they need to push out, they'll happily do it. Liquid's another one where sometimes it does not pay off for Liquid. Now and again, a player will just go wandering off, or two of them, and they'll try and knock out a team. I get it, and I understand the idea behind it. You want as much room and as much ground to cover as possible, but it's how much commitment there is and how many players are going to die and trade off while doing so. With a map like this, excuse me, with a circle like
Archie.
this. Are you ready? Are they going to
Archie. Oh, don't feed. Oh, that was looking throwy, Rich. That looked real throwy for Liquid. They're okay.
I was just a little concerned there, I'm not going to lie.
Got a little throwy, but it's all right. They get, you may back up. They'll be fine. And the Pink Ponies, I think, are a dangerous team in their own rights because they have nothing to lose. It's merely just a surprise and an enjoyment when they do well, because they're a team that don't have a reputation by them yet. They've done well to get here, of course, but I don't sit there and go, wow, they're underperforming. I go, oh, they're doing quite well. Oh, like Vazku's driving. Very nice style points. And again, do want to highlight as well, I think Break is doing a little community stream where you can go and have a little watch party. If you do want to hear those dulcet tones, and you're sick of ours, you get to hear him. Not sure if you want it. I just like to put it out there as an option.
For this kind of circle, I kind of want to feedback while the rotation are coming through, and if we do see fights and people pulling up, I'll instantly throw it over to you, Lauren, and you can run us through the action as it happens, and hopefully not James is driving. Seen better days without hair one. But nevertheless, with Los Leones, when you look at it, and this is why we're thinking top side at the start, that's really the only place that we can get it, bar the actual city center ending itself, which is a very far stretch. It's few and far between we do see them. I think I've only maybe cast 3 or 4 of them in while I've been doing PUBG as such. VAT going down. We'll make note of that while we do carry on, and also flush. So that looks like it's on transition also. But pretty much from the north, run it down the west to the bottom side of Los Leones, we tend to not have circles, and that's because of how the ridge line runs and encapsulates Los Leones. Liquid will be turning up unannounced, unfortunately. Everyone's just shooting it. Like, that's 3 teams they've run into now, is just peppering them at distance.
I think the point that Martin brought up is that people are very aware of certain teams' rotation routes, and as I said, Liquid is going to be one of them, but it's a very populated area. Look how dense it is on the circle. And Liquid are in more trouble now, as it looks like Offstring's probably going to get a decent shot towards at least one of them. James does have hard cover, but Clib could have copped a shot or 2, but he's just fine. It looks like Liquid have decided where they want to stick their claim and stake their claim. I would say there is a couple of downsides to that area that they currently reside in, but you know what? At this point, take it. Bit of an Assassin's Creed attempt from Marv there. Fails parlously. Didn't quite add the style points I was hoping for, but WS are very close by, and I don't know how aware WS are of this, because they're still looking around here. Maxi seems like he's still in kind of loot mode, but I see a nade in hand.
All the information's been given. Fortunately, doesn't quite find the target. Marv will also be able to reposition himself if he does know the utility is being committed. Kemba's there on a very slight off angle, but look at the distance QB and Nail have. QB only with the M16, but certainly silencer on the front. It could be deadly. Range with a 4 times, even just the odd shot or 2 with a 5.56, so it'll certainly help him out. Double lethal nade in hand. Doesn't matter whatsoever. Kemba there, Offstring follows up. Marv and Ivers fall simultaneously back to back. Fortunately, the rest of Redline, well, they stayed their feet. I'm actually seeing damage done blue from bystanders as well, so QB's position has been noted. Whether or not they realize that it's weakened and a team could happily push up onto this, that'll be a different question altogether. Ira onto Huth. So there is some sort of response from TSM from losing a player early on, but once again, to kind of touch on 2 things that we spoke about earlier on, everyone's moving more to this right-hand side of Los Leones because of how those hillsides work. Northern Lights, they're doing exactly what Frost touched on. They're sitting out of the pack for now and just waiting to see if there's a possible northern shift, or God forbid, maybe even a hard shift over to the west, because that would be insanity. We can still get a big open amount of area towards the top side of Los Leones, all the way from north. Even, to be fair, up and around La Bandita and over to Impala. So there's a good few amounts of areas that we could be seeing a circle ending, but everyone at the moment is just banking on it going in that circular area to the right-hand side of Los Leones. It's very condensed. If there is a hard shift, it's going to be extremely hard to evacuate the situation. Even Tornado Energy have just stopped themselves and said, you know what? There's too many teams there, boys. Let's just pull up here and hope for the best. Navi all the way down south. Sauna Boys out towards the west.
Yeah, Navi just chilling. I want to still keep an eye on them considering the environment they're in that previous game, but for now I think they're going to do the classic Navi of turn up late. And I don't mind it. This seems like a CIS-dominated lobby today, apart from DA, of course. Should I say overall as well, keeping account Tornado Energy, Northern Lights, if we throw them into the mix, then yeah. Wow, okay, Richard, what's happened? Richard?
All right.
Richard?
Okay.
Help! This is you. Go talk it through, bud, because...
I mean, it's like someone put land ratio in earlier, because that has just yoinked it away from the water. And now the mass scramble will begin. Northern Lights, they're a little bit closer towards the top side of Los Leones. They can get themselves a better position, but none better than anyone else who was stopped, really, on a northern way. As you were coming down from La Bendita, Pink Ponies, Tornado Energy, TSM can escape the backside of Impala. Sauna Boys, pick of the bunch for them. Take up residency in where you want to do, but try and hold a bit more forward. Don't go to the outskirts here. Don't go as far as, you know, La Bendita between there and Minas Generales or Graveyard, because you shouldn't go that too far. But these are the city center endings that we have seen. They're very few and far between. Whether or not it actually comes this way on the next push is a different topic of discussion altogether. Covering fire comes through from Tornado Energy, gets them all together. They're allowed to at least stay their feet while Pink Ponies goes on rotate over to the backside of La Bendita. They've actually got themselves a nice little compound on those long areas, the long bands on the backside that they'll take up residency. And my question is, does TSM look that way? Does TSM realize that that is maybe a point of contact for them if they want to advance forward? Liquid, by the way, I just want to make you know, if you didn't catch it on the map, is going for a huge, huge swing. They are over on the East Coast. They're going up towards, I mean, they've actually passed the backside of Impala. They will eventually be skirting the edges of the blue, maybe coming in and around forward of Junkyard. Northern Lights, again, 2-2. Should settle up nicely for those so they can keep at least each side of the oil cylinders. Bit of high ground there. We'll be able to keep a track of FaZe Clan inside. Wander and ETG, this has been back building for quite some time. And honestly, I think both teams have just been trying to gather information on where the players are because ETG is very split.
You're right, they are. I've just noticed Thunder losses across the road, I think, in the petrol station. You've got, you know, people here and there. Might cost them in this. And it looks like TSM, Na'Vi, Ents, Redline are definitely paying attention to this fight. They're not too close, but could they steal a knock? Sure. They could definitely put a couple of bullets downrange and see if anything hits. Na'Vi kind of pulling in towards Impala now. I'm not sure what rotation route they want to go for. Trevor does get flushed by Kemba in the vehicle. For now, Omicron as well, threading the needle. Pink Ponies to the left, TSM to the right. They should be able to, if they get past here cleanly, they should be good, but they're actually deciding maybe they want to pay some attention towards the Pink Ponies, and this could be a good spot. Yeah, quick turn, Vazku just slices the car into the building. Vampire's there, aims there, and yeah, they're actually getting these frags. This isn't good from Omicron. I'm used to seeing them being absolute monsters when they push in, but right now they're being manhandled. Finally, Vazku does well, but now the floor's on fire. And the Pink Ponies are making this much harder work than they expected.
And don't forget Team Liquid, TSM. There's a lot of teams that are listening on this one, Lauren. If they know there's action here and they know there's damage across both rosters, they may make a perfect interjection into this. They may capitalize on the situation. Aimlo still no idea where maybe this final player is. It's T-Bone downstairs. Level 3 grows it to hand. Doesn't matter whatsoever. Horrible. Instant confirmation on the knock, but finally Jempty does show up to the party. Is he a little bit late? I don't know. Sub 50% HP. This is going to be a very, very difficult situation to win out. Health down. Level 3 gear in hand. No. Unfortunately, Omicron yet to put the win on the board. They were in the top 6, and a 16th place will not be good for game number 2.
Didn't love that from Omicron. It's rare that we don't see them fighting well. I feel like that's one of their best attributes. These guys can fight. They are really good at this. And the circle has gone kind of the 50-50. Welcome to maybe a bit of Los Leones, the outskirts, that northern portion, that northern quarter where currently Northern Lights and FaZe hold. Shift W moving into home territory. We've known them to be pretty formidable in the city. So watch out for that. Chris already going to show off a little towards yellow, but there's going to be more coming, so has to be careful. Beyond that, though, plenty of teams on the outskirts. This is going to be tricky. I'm looking at the area surrounding. A lot of compounds still there, but centralizing just isn't going to happen, surely.
You wouldn't, and I mean, it could just, like you say, it's not hovering over Los Leones directly, so this is where it's one of those 50-50s, and maybe the road just becomes ultimately people's graves. Quepter is standing strong for now. Uber onto Yacht. Easy frag for him. Information fed back to the rest of the bystanders, though, so at least 1 point on the board for FaZe Clan. They need as many as they can possibly humanly gather at this point. Quepter's still chilling, but clearly his position has been noted some time ago. At least you would anticipate it. The trade is there. The overpeak comes through. Finally, they can deal with it. Oh, nade downstairs. Okay. TSM. The SWAT team has assembled.
Right. This doesn't happen twice. Goya just pre-firing. Here's the steps, right. Let's see what I can do. 1. Yeah, that's it. 1 and done. No more to be found. A good attempt from the Pink Ponies being a nuisance. They held back Omicron, which is obviously quite a medal to pin to the lapel, but you know, I don't see much more from it. So that's what it was, but I think the bigger point for me is that, yes, Pink Ponies did deal with the fight, but Omicron didn't win theirs, and that's a little interesting. TSM will take up residence in that area regardless. We do have WS still very much on the outskirts. How's everyone else doing? Where's Na'Vi in this? Am I missing them?
I believe...
They are. They went all the way back down
just
south.
Come into the picture.
Yep.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were going to try and make it up past WS and try and go for a bit of a wide swing on the east, but they opted to just go down south, and they'll have to come through the gauntlet that will be Los Leones unless they've got meds and they can just scout the outskirts. But If they decide to run west, you then have the unfortunate entrapment issue where they'll just be playing for the scrappy side of Los Leones. It'll become extremely difficult to try and formulate something together. I mean, they don't know this. They've only got red line. This is the quick replay from the previous fights that you
Lovely.
saw earlier on with Omican unfortunately going down in 16th. Like you say, it was a bit uncharacteristic with the
normally they're
single
just
pushes,
incredibly
but
good.
yeah, maybe
You
expected
know.
a little bit more from in terms of hitting it together. Liquid,
Yes.
could you have
Wow.
been gifted a bet? Like you're out away from this fight. You are completely disconnected from everybody, and all of a sudden the circle has landed smack. It's given you like that's a shining chance. Sauna Boy's perfect. Maybe two of them try and go for something else, although the priority compound in the middle would be phenomenal. Northern Lights, by staying away, by doing the same as what Frost was discussing almost exactly at the start, the backside of Los Leones, then moving out away from FaZe Clan, they have also been gifted a very strong compound. DA is going to get involved as well. For DSM, it's a very short distance to walk, and they've got gifted a compound. But now with the circle centralizing up, it'll start to pull away from there you would anticipate. And then we go into open field area. That's where it becomes very, very dicey and very difficult.
You're right. So let's look at the fights on the outskirts for now, unless someone crashes or gets early contact. We're going to have, on the outskirts, FaZe holding a little bit of the southwestern side. Towards the east, Ents, Tornado Energy, WS, as you're seeing Windstrike here. Windstreak, excuse me. Over here, Fex did just get caught off as well. That's going to be over towards the northeast. That could be recoverable. I think it was quite a distance, maybe a 300, 200-meter shot. Nothing too close by. Bystanders going to head right past red line. They are towards the south. This is that awkward battle in the south, leaving Los Leones. Kind of exiting from the northern portion of Los Leones. Can be done, but it's quite treacherous. As we're seeing now, FaZe very much proactive in holding this side as well, Rich. They want to keep this one safe.
They do, and the more bodies they can take down, the easier this will be. That's a lot of damage done onto that by two players, sub 50%. Beamy, unfortunately, does eliminate his teammate and makes it all that much more easier. They must have just crossed path, unfortunately. Flamey will decide to opt to run away. The 1-2 thank you from Uber comes in. Godney, job done. Yellow Beamy done. 3 points so far for FaZe Clan coming out of the bystanders single-handedly. Now the next target has arrived, but FaZe has been caught in a very uncharacteristic position. They're outside of it. There's no real safety net. And while this has been going down, many teams have decided to move a little bit further in. Liquid has gone for a 2-2. They've come away from the backside of the circle. They've come from the north down to the west. They can basically just bottleneck all these teams out now. FaZe is falling from a different angle altogether. This is DA is literally up on the last remaining mountainside. Firing into FaZe Clan. They are holding all these people dead to rights.
Rich, I get to see Liquid, FaZe, and Na'Vi fight. It's like anyone who's watched the European sort of side of PUBG for many years will know this is going to be a good one. If they commit to this, that is. They can somewhat peel away, but you're going to get shots like this. Gustav finds Orange very quickly. Denya turns attention further away. This is behind them. This is towards Redline. Now, Na'Vi's a little worse for wear as Orange did get flushed. That's going to be on the back of Gustav, it just bleeding out. But look at the terrain that FaZe are holding. Behind them, you've got Liquid pushing down with two of them. They still have Klib and Ibby further up north, across the other side of the road. They are proactively pushing, and James just backhands Gustav. None of that today, thank you. Get out of my house. Not having any of it. Fuzzface on the move, but he's got DA looking his way. He's got everyone paying attention. Look, he's a handsome man, but leave the boy alone. Tab's going to get him. And now we're going to see the FaZe has been eliminated. One of the earlier teams to go out. Braxico trying to make it work. That gun with the 3 times. A little tricky to control sometimes, but certainly no barrel. But this is a bloodied battle. Na'Vi have weathered the storm. FaZe got eliminated. And Shift W look like they're next on the chopping block. Ents are winning this fight.
They have the height advantage, thankfully, at least for WS that need to come across, and Shift W also. Excuse me, they don't have the height advantage. I do apologize. They've wrapped around Brexico and Kill You Guys, so they are actually on top. But with the man advantage that will be given and gifted from the side events, they could maybe even just opt to go around and avoid this fight altogether. It's also the first one to send it up on the side of Windstreak. Here's the vehicles. Now it's time to hit the car, but you've got a time limit on this one. Or do you just want to let them get away? Maybe you want this for yourself nice and clean. You've got a vehicle, but you've also got Ents behind. Presence has been noted. Finally, Ents has this point, but again, with 3 players surrounding them, Oshri and Kemba have all the work in the world to do when Diggory is just hitting a shot like that. You show your head, you show your hand, and he takes it off instantly. Clean, beautiful. Kemba, can you fare any better? This is a 1 versus 3 scenario, my dude, and this will be extremely hard, especially if Ents is feeling it.
Look, I, I'd like to see Ents roll it back. I always do. Whether or not it gets them further up the board or not, I don't really care at this point. But watching them play off like this is so exciting. But Isolated Diggory goes down. That's going to be Kemba all day long. And Mertz found Senya. Look at Navi's ground in the bottom right there. They have nothing to play with. And Mertz just landed an absolute nuke on their lap. Na'Vi down in 10th, and that was gorgeous work from DA. And we're going to see Ents now suffering as well. They got too much attention. Too many eyes turned their way. And I've got to say it. If DA keep this up, they might just be controlling this circle. Tornado Energy, yes, they're still in this as well. TSM, back to the blue. They're trying to run it in. Iroh trying to dodge every bullet. But even Neo might struggle at this point.
Ents... Diggory's actually fallen because of it. Ents just almost had a 1 versus 3 scenario on the hand. That was just phenomenal work. Coming out of Kemba, he did so much damage. Tixu is forced us to get in the vehicle and basically bolted into the circle. There's nothing you can really do here. Asked for the best of a bad situation would just be to try and stay alive and get away from Northern Lights, but there's such an open area, and so many people are going to be able to see it. DA have been having a whale of a time up here. Code Marco puts the nail in the coffin for Ents, and they go down in 8th position. Eventually, DA do need to make a bit of a move with them being so far on the southern side of this and a bit of an open run in front of them. They have to formulate something and a plan of attack. How do you tackle this one head on? You spoke about the nades in the kill feed. The bombardment onto Na'Vi was phenomenal. And I can't believe that, like, every team thus far has, in some way, some shape or form, had damage done to them by DA. Like, you look towards the Liquid Na'Vi face fight earlier on. It was DA's height advantage that was causing all that to basically unwind. They were just peppering in, not necessarily getting all the knocks, but causing so much noise and so much chaos, it forced the fight in front of them.
Like, this is surely the end of them. I don't know what... I'm actually not very familiar with this terrain, especially on the southern side of this road. I don't know if there's much for them to play with, but we're accustomed to DA going full send if they need to. I just don't see how they survive here. I'm sure I'll get my answer soon. Tornado Energy back to the blue as well, being kept humbled by the likes of Miraku, by obviously the Sauna boys. Okay, so there's the terrain. We got to see it. It's not much. It really isn't much. Okay, so they're just going to be doing covering fire duty while Smash and Metralius, look at the minimap, they're moving up. They're on the vehicles, they're trying to shift closer, maybe find that next step forward. Code Marco, just trying to lay in the fire, keep them safe. Same with Mert, off they go, trying to get a little bit further forward here, move up to the next bit of area, and this is safe, this is in, perfect. That's enough terrain, enough of a lip, a little bit of a hillside to keep them safe. That gets them in. Now, let's look at Tornado Energy. What do they do with this? They've got the Sauna Boys even closer to having vision on this, and look at that open field. This is not easy. Already Mexi's found Metralius, though. Clearly, this wasn't as safe as expected. Example, gonna get a little bit of fire through, but Miraku. Oh my word, it's like Velociraptors in the long grass. Can he stay still enough? No. Wizzy gonna just tear him limb from limb. Miraku's done. That's TSM down in 7th. Good ability to stay alive there, push through towards that later game, try and snake it out, but didn't really have much from it. Did Metralius get flushed, or is he getting red?
I believe he's been resuscitated, so he's back on his feet. Now, there's still options here for Metralius and Smash to be able to just kind of worm their way in and move it to a very, very small dip and keep DA's dreams alive. They've got 2 in there so they can recuperate. We'll talk about this fight, though, that's on our hands at the moment. Sauna Boys have just fanned out so much that they can try and keep Tornado Energy humble. They will smoke up and basically block all vision and all line of sight from the Sauna Boys and rotate around it. You can see the utilities coming through, and they're hoping. I mean, that's the thing. The real distraction is they've put it on the front. The nades are being thrown there from the Sauna Boys. If they fix it too hard on this one, then maybe, nope, denied, shut down. Sakura with a beautiful transfer, sprays on it. That's 2 instantly just mowed down in the field.
That's so sick. He's above the smoke. He could just see enough. Just about. Using the elevated angle, using that high ground so perfectly. Quizzy has to hit the deck. He has to play prone here. Stay low down to the ground. And I want to see if there's any moves while it's happening. I think I'm seeing Liquid on the move. I saw them in vehicles. I'm wondering where they're going. They could have gone for a crash. I don't think that would be in the optimal time. No, they've gone for the bit of a compound, but we already have the fight. Nuki on the push out here. Sakura's gone and found another. The flush comes in. Nuki wants it on the action, but he's in the blue. But nice work from the Finns. The Finns are finding form today, it seems. We've had Ents coming through, the Sauna Boys coming through. Maybe that cold weather hitting just brings them alive. But the new circle, Rich, it's on the north side of this road.
It is, and it becomes unfavorable for DA. They're left out to cold once again. Batulin's crossed the road to get to the backside of Shift W, which will be the next point of contact for Northern Lights. The Sauna Boys can overwatch all of this. If they get a free shot, a free bullet, a free head, they'll happily take it. It's just points in the bag for them at this stage. Closest to the center of the circle, and possibly a little bit of a hay bale to work off the back of if they do need to go further forward. Team Liquid, you caught it on the map, Lauren. The slight early adjustment, it's paid dividends. It is limited, but the cover comes in the form of the road. With it arching up behind them, they do have cover from the side of DA, so they can tackle that head on while basically not showing their hand to anybody else. It's going to be extremely difficult for Team Liquid, with everyone just hoping they make some kind of a mistake. But this trench, it will keep them safe for all but a sudden, so long as they're watching the wrap coming from Metralius and Smash. If they don't notice
I'm about
this...
to say, you think it's hard for Liquid? Look at DA, they've got to run the gauntlet. There's nothing across the main road. They've got to lose out on Smash. Metralius, Code Marco. There's nothing more DA could have done. Unless they had 50 smokes spare, this was kind of it. This is how it goes. And Mert, it's time to go full snake mode if they can. While this happened, Northern Lights took the opportunity to get across the road as well. Pull up towards Shift W. Now, this isn't a huge compound to be playing with. This isn't much area, but there isn't much in this circle. Liquid have managed to stay alive with 4 as well. Keep that in mind for late game.
Utility's been cycled. Flashbangs through every single room, one by one. They push, they clean, they sweep. I mean, they do have one lethal nade. Brexco with the double molly. Area of Denial comes out to the right-hand side, so now they can try and pincer him either on the left. We'll just wait the direct approach. Still checking behind him. A fan of that. You do have this one solo snake that will be worming his way in shield a bit slowly, but look at this Spyro Batulins. They're getting the angles. They're going for the vert nades. In the door, thank you very much. Double damage is done. The follow-up is there. Do we see a knock? Because if we do, you can damn well expect the push with the mollies in as well. They are just slowly but surely blowing them out of this building with another nade in. Up and over we go. The damage continuously. Surely one must fall victim now. How have they not gone down?
How are they alive? What are they made of?
Insanity, Spyro, please put the nail in the coffin for somebody and then you can make an advancement. This is just, I would say eventually a waste, but they do have to go on this eventually.
Brexico and Kilyakai, I do not know what your vests, what your helmets, what you are made of, but right now you are flash blind and you have nothing more to be said about it. Batulins there cleans up. Now, while this began, you've got to keep eyes. Look at the Sauna Boys. Look at the Finns. They're starting to make the move. They're starting to leave the northern quarter. That portion of the map that they've controlled for so long. Mert in full snake mode. The King Cobra is back again. Just down in the ground. He ain't moving a muscle until he has to, but Clips found Anonymous. Here we go. Don't forget, Liquid are a god tier team. These guys have won international tournaments. These guys are the best of the best when it works. But the problem is, right now, it hasn't been working. Now they're in the middle of the field, and they've got Batulin staring them down. Probably have all the players here. I'd say, you know what? Skip Batulins. Give me anyone else. But Liquid have been held, and they've been slowed down. This could have been the chance for them to get in towards the Sauna Boys. But they underestimated Northern Lights. They underestimated what that cross could do, but now Mert gets involved. Mert's going to keep the Northern Lights busy. There's so many battles being defined by so many different elements here. Mert just barely alive by the car. Spyro looking for a pixel out of place. The molly comes in, doesn't go far enough. Mert builds a wall as quick as he can. Is it enough? No. Nookie's got him. We're down to 3 teams now. Sauna Boys, Team Liquid, Northern Lights, 3 alive for 2 and 4 for the Sauna Boys. They've got it all to play with, all to work with. Cars still in plenty, but Spyro still a firing. Finds Nookie and Liquid. They're being kept alive by the smokes in their bag. That is it.
Do you have these vehicles? I'm surprised Anonymous is going so deep and he hasn't just pulled up to a hay bale. Yeah, I'm surprised he's hit this side of it. He could have gone for a hay bale, just built his friends, and he's literally just built him a little barrier to work with. Team Liquid is holding on for dear life. Before they got a little bit bloodthirsty for me, a little bit of bloodlust. Didn't put the smokes down and went straight for the cross onto the Sauna Boys. They understand why. They can't come out now, can they? Well, without fighting him, at least. Maybe that's the whole idea and the whole plan behind it.
Potentially a second place. I like this. Now, if he just stays alive long enough, he's got a level 1 vest. His gear is garbage. But his positioning, his placement is enough of a nuisance that maybe he can live to fight another day. But Spyro above him is doing serious work. That is big boy damage coming out. Flash to hand. Goes up and over. Liquid might have found the gateway forward. But Batulins, he said no. This is sick work from Northern Lights. Out of nowhere. They are shining brighter than anyone in this lobby. Ibby and James, though, still alive. Still doing work. Still doing damage. Still putting up bodies. But how many are left? Just 1. It's only James. Up against Batulins and Lewin. That is it. A 1v2 now comes through. Spyro's knocked as it stands. I don't know if a res is happening. I don't think it even matters. But Tulins, a great game from the Northern Lights. And what an ending that was. That could have gone either way. But honestly, seeing the